Desde la Editorial Buen Camino llevamos muchos años haciendo guías para peregrinos. Primero las publicábamos impresas, ahora las editamos a través de la aplicación Buen Camino de Santiago para móviles. Esto tiene muchas ventajas para los peregrinos. Es más barato, pesa menos, tiene mucha más información, está siempre actualizada y muchas otras cosas. Antes de explicarte cómo funciona la aplicación, te indico cómo hacemos nuestras guías. Primero vamos a la ruta a recorrerla andando. Siempre es la mejor manera de descubrir una ruta, de recoger la información y sacar las fotografías de primera mano. Después publicamos la guía y la traducimos a otros idiomas. Desde ese momento mantenemos la ruta siempre actualizada, acudiendo todos los años al camino o bien en contacto permanente con los hospitaleros, con peregrinos o con cualquier persona a pie de camino, para tener siempre la información actualizada.
We offer all information via the Buen Camino de Santiago application. You'll find it for Android and iOS with our logo, a yellow arrow on a blue background. It is currently the most used app on the Camino, and it has been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. Once you have the application on your mobile, you'll find our guides to the different ways. The guide to a small route, the Camino de Santiago de Batán, is installed by default, but you have many more routes available. If we still don't have a guide for the way you're looking for, you can always request it from us so that it can be one of our next goals. Once the guide to the way that you are going to walk is downloaded, when you reopen the application, the guide will connect to our database to include any new content. This means that the guide will always be kept up to date with information on new hostels, price changes, telephone numbers, or important notices about the route concerning works or diversions. The application includes a complete settings section. Here you can choose the language of the guide. You can also select the unit of distance, whether you prefer kilometers or miles. Additionally, you can choose whether you want to see the prices for today or on the date that you're going to the Camino, as they tend to vary depending on whether it's high or low season. You can also choose whether to receive notifications or not. It's important that this option is activated. When you're on the Camino de Santiago, we will send you notifications about problems on the Camino or notifications about timetables so that you're up to speed with the most important information, even if you don't open the application. Finally, you can select whether you're going by bike, as the information that appears on the application is adapted to peregrinos, cycling pilgrims, if you select this option. Now let's look at the guide. Note that some options are only activated if you're on the Camino. That's why I'm doing this tutorial from Pamplona, on the French way. For example, under the name of the route, you'll see how many kilometers remain between the spot where you are now and the route to Santiago de Compostela. From where I am right now, there are 706 kilometers still to go. Below we find the menu. First, a pilgrim's guide with the basic information: which way to choose, when to do it, how to organize it, how much it costs, what to take, where to sleep, and much more. It is a guide with essential information that should be read before coming to the Camino. Let's continue. The following section includes more information on the route, a general description and another that is more specific, divided into stages. It is followed by an index of towns, listed according to their order along the route. You will see the distances between the towns, and you can click on any one to go to the specific information for this location. You can also browse between the towns, scrolling with your finger or even clicking on the geolocalization pin that only appears when you're on the Camino de Santiago and takes you to the location you're in. There is also a search feature, so you can go directly to the information for a certain accommodation or a specific town. You can see plenty of information for each town. First, a blue bar that indicates how far you've gone and how much of the route is left. Here we are shown the distance from the point you're currently at to the center of the following town. It is followed by temperature information and the current weather conditions. Thirdly, general information about things to do will appear for large cities. It is followed by important notices. In this case, we are notified about the Pilgrim's Welcome that takes place in Pamplona every day between April and October. Then comes specific information about the accommodation. User evaluations, opening date, price, number of spaces, and the services available. If we click on the accommodation, the information expands with more photos, telephone number, more information and geolocalization. You can access the icon legend by clicking on the question mark. If the accommodation allows it, a link to make a reservation will be found in its information. We channel it through Booking, which works very well. You can also do it through a link that is there for each town. This is very useful, especially in all the stages closest to Compostela and in the months of March to October, when the numbers of people are greater. Finally, it is followed by information on tourist offices and points of interest. Here you'll find monuments and other places that may be of interest to pilgrims. All of this can be found on the app's map, and you can also see where the town is found on the profile. Let's go back to the app menu. It's followed by the route profile. A yellow line shows us where we are. It is updated by pressing the geolocalization button in order to save battery. The following section is the map, which is very complete. You can see the outline in yellow, all the points of interest and geolocalized accommodation. You can use different types of maps, and the geolocalization button takes us to the place where we are, marked by a blue pin. So we know if we're lost and how to get back to the yellow line that we used to mark the Camino de Santiago. The app also includes a very useful stage planner. As there is accommodation in many towns, you can plan your stages as you like. Some that appear are created by default, but you can edit them or delete them and create new ones. Each stage includes the number of kilometers, the accumulated meters from inclines and declines, the kilometers corresponding to tarmac or hard ground, and the kilometers corresponding to trails. Furthermore, on Android telephones we are testing out a new option. The Camino de Santiago sometimes splits and offers different options. If you click on Main Route, you can select the different options that are there on the Camino de Santiago. Thus, you can plan stages with the towns of these different alternatives. If you decide not to do the variations, you can always return to the main stages planner. It is followed by a yellow button. If you push it, it downloads all the guide information to your mobile, including all photos and maps. This means you can use it while on the Camino without using up data. Make sure you do the download in a place with a good connection, as it is several megabytes. Finally, there is a very useful button. If you save our mobile number in your contacts and you have WhatsApp installed on your phone, you can contact us at any time for any queries or suggestions. We try to respond within the same day, but please be patient with us as we receive dozens of messages every day.
Ya ves que con esta aplicación podrás hacer el Camino de Santiago con total seguridad. Nuestro objetivo es evitarte problemas, como que te pierdas o no encuentras alojamiento. Así podrás centrarte en el camino y disfrutarlo para que deje huella en ti y te marque y te cambie para siempre. Buen camino.